Among the Prophet Muhammad's uncles, one chose the honorable path of Hamza, R.A., while another went down the path of Abu Lahab. Before the Prophet's mission began, both had affection for him. But later, one became his strongest supporter, and the other his fiercest enemy. Abu Lahab, whose name means father of flame, was intelligent, wealthy, and influential. He was admired for his sharp speech, business skills, and charisma. Yet his pride and hatred blinded him. The Quran itself revealed verses about him, foretelling his fate in a miraculous way. So why did this man, so close to the Prophet by blood, reject the truth? What stopped him from believing, even though he knew? To understand, let's look at his story. Abu Lahab's real name was Abdul Uzza ibn Abdul Muttalib. He belonged to the Banu Hashim clan of Quraysh, the same family as the Prophet. Because of his reddish, glowing complexion, people called him Abu Lahab. He married Jamil Arwa bint Harb, the sister of Abu Sufyan. This union increased his status and strengthened his political power. He was wealthy. Some reports say he owned vast amounts of gold and was expected to lead Banu Hashim after Abdul Muttalib. At first, Abu Lahab showed kindness. When the Prophet was born, he rejoiced and even freed his slave woman Suwayba, who brought him the good news. Suwayba also breastfed the young Muhammad, making her one of his foster mothers. Later, Abu Lahab even engaged his sons Utbah and Utayba to the Prophet's daughters Ruqayya and Kulthum. These family ties seemed strong, but everything changed after the first revelation. When the Prophet began calling people to the oneness of Allah, Quraysh leaders felt threatened. Idol worship brought them wealth and prestige, and Islam's message of equality undermined their privileges. At the famous gathering on Mount Safa, when the Prophet openly invited his family to Islam, Abu Lahab gave the harshest rejection, insulting him and walking away. From that moment, his hostility grew. Unlike most Arabs who valued family loyalty above all, Abu Lahab broke this cultural code. He opposed his own nephew, following him around markets and festivals to discredit him, calling him insane or a liar, God forbid. His wife Jamil joined him, spreading slander, throwing thorns at the Prophet's door, and stirring hatred among Quraysh women. They even forced their sons to break off their engagements with the Prophet's daughters. Utayba went so far as to insult the Prophet to his face. The Prophet prayed against him, and soon after, Utayba was killed by a lion while traveling, a sign many saw as divine justice. Because of their extreme hostility, Allah revealed Surah Al-Masad, "Perish the hands of Abu Lahab, and perish he. His wealth and his gains shall not benefit him. He will burn in a fire of flames, and his wife, the carrier of firewood, will have a rope of palm fiber around her neck." This is the only chapter in the Quran that directly names a disbeliever. It predicted that Abu Lahab and his wife would die in disbelief, which came true. Abu Lahab did not join the Battle of Badr. When news of Quraysh's defeat reached him, he was furious. Shortly after, he contracted a severe and contagious illness. Some say smallpox, others say plague. His body was covered with sores, and even his own family abandoned him out of fear. After his death, his body was left untouched for days, until it was finally pushed into a pit with sticks and covered with stones. His wealth, status, and pride all were useless. Just as the Quran had said, as for Jamil, the Quran described her as the carrier of firewood, symbolizing her role in fueling hatred and spreading gossip. Though once proud of her jewelry and wealth, her arrogance led to humiliation in this life and punishment in the next. Their daughter, Dura bint Abu Lahab, later embraced Islam and moved to Medina. Some Muslims treated her harshly because of her parents, but the Prophet defended her and told the people she was not responsible for their sins. The story of Abu Lahab carries powerful lessons. Pride and arrogance can blind a person to the truth. Wealth and power are temporary. They cannot save us from Allah's judgment. Hatred consumes a person, destroying them from within. The Quran's prophecy about Abu Lahab shows its miraculous nature. And the prophet, despite all this hostility, still prayed for guidance for his enemies, teaching us patience and mercy. Even today, we see people acting like Abu Lahab, rejecting truth for the sake of pride, wealth, or influence. The story of Abu Lahab warns us that such a path only leads to destruction. So let us take the lesson. Real honor comes not from status or riches, but from humility, sincerity, and faith. If you found this story beneficial and want to learn more about Islamic history and lessons from the Quran, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. Your support helps us share more knowledge with the world. See you in the next video, inshallah. May Allah protect you and guide us all.